Happy Thanksgiving. It was interesting as the choir was singing, watching you folks. I think as we were singing, the thanks that we were singing, I saw 3 smiles. We could do better, right? Anyway, here we are. Any persons who have announcements this morning, if you make your way to the front, I'll share a few things and then you'll be ready when I'm done. The Elgin Shores Ministerial, for the last number of years, this time of the year has had what we call a prayer breakfast. The theme this year is Parking for Care in Our Community, Part 3. This year it is this coming Wednesday from 8 to 9 in the morning at St. John's Anglican Church. If anyone is interested, the tickets are $15. There's limited seating, so anyone who's interested, speak to me today or in the next 2 days, and then we'll pass that information along. We see flowers here this morning in lots of places around the sanctuary, remembering the celebration of life service for Norman Dunlop, and we continue to keep the family in our thoughts and prayers in their time of loss. And we're grateful for the brightness that the flowers bring to our setting this morning. There's a table at the back that has some items on it that people have left behind. So if you're looking for something, you might find it there. If you really want something that's there, that someone else has left behind, please take it. Okay? Also, in our worship experience, there are times that we listen and times that we're invited to participate by joining with others or responding to what's being said. Some people are more comfortable listening rather than responding. Some engage more by responding rather than listening. Some are singers and sing lustily. Others are not and do less so. I merely remind us that we try to provide a variety of ways in which we can engage in worship. Worship is nothing if it does not engage us. So I encourage us to engage in ways that are most comfortable for us, knowing that they not necessarily all will be. You're on.
Okay. I'm Louise Jack, Chair of the UCW. This is my final report on the 2019 Harvest Dinner. We raised $4,413.11 to support our missions and our church. This is up $209.72 from last year, even though we were given turkeys in 2018. So really, really well done. I also wanted to mention that we made a real effort to reduce our use of plastic this year by switching to biodegradable knives and forks and take-out containers. Thanks again to all who contributed to making this event a big success.
Alec? Anyone who follow Alec, please let me know that you're following Alec.
Alec Kanoniak, I'm here to remind the gentlemen that our men's breakfast starts on the 3rd Sunday of October, which is next weekend. So back to calories, back to coffee, back to pancakes. And in the Friday file, we kind of omitted, as far as I know, we're going to have porridge there too. Oatmeal. We need some cooks for 7 o'clock and some to stay for cleanup afterwards. Other than that, there 8 o'clock will be breakfast will be served. And if you phone Harry is the only one, and maybe Jim Klein. I'm sorry there, but I'm doing this, but I'm not going to be there for the first meeting of after summer holiday. So please show up and bring friends and enjoy fellowship there, and we'll try and get things rolling again after our rest. Thank you.
Thanks, Alec. And my name is Gerry Hofstetter. I have the privilege of being in ministry here for a period of time between the retirement of one worship leader and the call of another. And a special welcome to everybody as we gather on this Thanksgiving Sunday, and any persons who are visiting with us today. We invite you to help us remember your time among us by putting your name in the book that is on the table just to the left as you go that way off the center. For thousands of years, First Nations people have walked on this land. And their relationship with the land we know to be at the very center of their being. The United Church of Canada acknowledges that we meet regularly on the traditional territories of Indigenous people. We acknowledge their stewardship of the land throughout the ages, and we respect their spirituality. Claire, do you want to help me with the candle this morning? You've offered before, and I've included others. Okay. Okay, together we'll reach up, and I'm a little taller than you are, so I can guide it. Is it going? Yes, and you even knew how to shut it off. Thank you. Thanks for your help. The lighting of the Christ candle as it burns throughout our worship time together reminds us not only who we are, but whose we are. I invite you to join me in ways that work best for you in the call to worship. We are a people of thanksgiving. 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 Make a joyful noise. Those who were here a little earlier will have already heard this sung. So if that was the first time you heard it, you know how to sing it now. And we invite you to lead any others who may be a little unsure. Make a joyful noise. I invite you to stand in body or in spirit. Make a joyful noise, all the earth. Worship your God with gladness. Make a joyful noise, all the earth. Come to this place with a song. Every once in a while I'll have someone say to me, do you know that when you're singing from the front of the church, like you under the pew, it seems to me, this is what people tell me, it seems to me that you're just a tad ahead of where everyone else is. And yes, that's by design. Because what people in the pews tend to do is wait until they hear, and then they begin to sing. So think of the variables. We have an organ and a piano to play together, okay? You like to sing following the choir. The choir likes to hear the organ and the piano. So they wait till they hear the organ and the piano, then they start to sing, and then you hear them, and then you start to sing. So if I'm here not singing at all, I hear you at least one beat behind where we should be. I had a music instructor tell me a long time ago, an accompanist is an accompanist, not a leader. Okay? So, what I'm going to do today is encourage us the next time we're singing to try to anticipate so that we are singing already the note when we hear the accompanist. Now you're smiling. Why? Because if we looked at it the other way around, and they were always trying to be in sync with you, by the time we got to the third verse, we'd be, make a joyful noise. All right. That's just a thing with me, all right. Okay, I invite the Sunday school folks to join me in the front of the church, please. Discovery Cole, I should say. I know, Claire, you're already here. Can I ask you to sit on the seat, please? Anybody else coming and joining us? I would prefer that you did not, okay, today? Good morning, everyone. Can someone tell me what special weekend this is? Yes, Thanksgiving. I invite you to share with me some of the things for which we're thankful today. Okay? Starting with you over here. Something for which you're thankful. Today's your birthday. Are you grateful for that? Yes. Do you know what day of the week you were born? Yes. In the week. Was it a Monday, a Wednesday, a Friday? Do you know? A Thursday. You missed Friday the 13th by that much. Good for you. Well, happy birthday. Can we sing happy birthday?
Happy birthday.
Your piano's off. Okay, all right, sure. We're going to start right here. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tanner. Happy birthday to you. Many of you knew better than I did the name. Thank you. What other things might we be willing to share about Thanksgiving? Yes. Your mom what? Your mom has a birthday every year. Yes. Any other things for which to be thankful? Yes, Clara. One thing. You managed to get toys from Pumpkin Fest. Good for you. What other things might we express thanks? Yes. I'm sorry? Turkey. Exactly. Any other things? Any other things that we want to share? I'm going to see if I can get some who haven't spoken yet, okay? Thanks for your eagerness. Yes, who got me? For being able to go to Pumpkin Fest. Right. A good celebration, a week ahead of Thanksgiving itself. Anything else that anyone has to share that you haven't already shared? We're not going to double up today, Clara. Okay, I'm sorry. I think you did. All right. You want to know some of the things I'm thankful for? I'm thankful for people like you who remind me of the energy I used to have. And the ability to sit on the floor like that and get up without a winch. You may not know what a winch is yet. It's something that helps lift things up. We're going to sing a song that involves some actions, and some of us, both at the front and elsewhere, have done these actions before. I'm just going to go through it quickly. The words to the song go like this, and the actions. There are only 3 actions, but there are 5 movements. And if you're a math whiz, it goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. The first is, Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary. Good, so do I. Pure and holy, tried and true, with thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. So the 3 actions, here, 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 then we go back to 1 and 2. And we're going to remain seated, and we're going to sing it through twice. And if you had trouble with the words, at least just try to follow me with the actions, okay? Let's try it together. And then we'll end with the Lord's Prayer, and then you can make your way out, okay? Do it a little differently today. Let's pray. Dear God, we thank you for many things. Our health, our schools, our families, our churches, our friends. Help us this weekend to express our thanks. And we'll continue together in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you, and have a good morning with your teachers, okay? And be kind and gentle and grateful if you have a new joy. That's fine, Claire.
Our scripture this morning comes from Luke chapter 17, verses 11 to 19, from the New Revised Standard Version of the Bible. Jesus cleanses 10 lepers. On the way to Jerusalem, Jesus was going through the region between Samaria and Galilee. As he entered a village, 10 lepers approached him, keeping their distance. They called out, saying, "Jesus, Master, have mercy on us." When he saw them, he said to them, "Go and show yourselves to the priests." And as they went, they were made clean. Then one of them, when he saw that he was healed, turned back, praising God with a loud voice. He prostrated himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him, and he was a Samaritan. Then Jesus asked, "Were not 10 made clean? But the other 9, where are they? Was none of them found to return and give praise to God, except this foreigner?" Then he said to him, "Get up and go on your way. Your faith has made you well."
There's a story about 4 brothers who made their way diligently through elementary school and secondary school and into university. Graduated from university, all became employed, and indeed all prospered. And one day, they got together for lunch. And they were talking about how their life was going, how their work was going, and they were talking about their elderly mother who lived a good distance from where they were. And the eldest said, "You know, I appreciate so much what Mom has done for me that I bought her a nice, big, new house." The second son said, "Yeah, great idea. And I had put into that house a theater, Dolby sound, surround sound. You could just lose yourself in that room." The next one said, "I called up my Mercedes dealer, and I had him deliver a Mercedes right to Mom, right to the driveway, right to the house." The fourth son said, "Yeah, you know how Mom loves to read the Bible. Loves to read the Bible. We also know how she is having difficulty with her sight and can't read anymore as much and as easily as she used to be able to do. So I heard of this parrot who had been trained to learn the whole Bible and recite the whole Bible on cue. It took 20 pastors 12 years to train this parrot to do that. And let me tell you, it cost me a bundle to the church to make sure that this parrot would be available. But all Mom has to do now is just say, John 3:16, and the parrot will offer it back just like that. After the holidays, Mom sat down to write out her thank you notes. "Dear Milton," she said, "the house you built is so huge. I use only one room. On the other hand, I have to clean the whole thing. Thanks anyway. Marvin, I'm too old to travel, so I stay home. I even have my groceries delivered, so I never use the car. But the thought was good. Thanks. Michael, you gave me an awesome, obviously expensive theater with Dolby sound. It's so impressive, it could hold 50 people. But you must know, most of my friends are dead. I've lost my hearing. And I had significant difficulty even in seeing. I'll never use it. But, thanks for the gesture, just the same. Fourth son. Dear Snellman, you were the only son to give a little thought to your gift. The chicken was delicious. I'll wait for that to settle. This is Thanksgiving weekend for those of us who are Canadians. Millions of turkeys are making the ultimate sacrifice so we can stuff ourselves. The truth is, increasingly it seems, true Thanksgiving is getting to be a somewhat rare commodity. No wonder some people refer and prefer to refer to Thanksgiving weekend or Thanksgiving Day as Turkey Day. Authentic feelings of gratitude and appreciation are getting, at least in some quarters, harder to find. Someone has said there are basically two kinds of people. Those who have a sense of gratitude and those who have a sense of entitlement. Gratitude versus entitlement. A sense of gratitude versus a sense of entitlement. For those who live out of a sense of gratitude, absolutely nothing is taken for granted. Everything is perceived as a gift, coming to us as a gift, available to us. For those who live out of a sense of entitlement, we flip it. Just about everything is taken for granted. Little, if anything, is truly appreciated. Since we feel we're entitled to everything we have. And not only what we have, and more. Anybody here remember Jimmy Dean? You date yourselves. But I'm with you. Years ago, he co-wrote a song called Drinking from My Saucer. Anybody here remember it? That's not surprising. A part of one verse goes like this. So, Lord, help me not to gripe about the top rows that I pulled. I'm drinking from my saucer because my cup has overflowed. Now, those of us who are English majors kind of go, the grammar's a little rough. But it is country and western music, right? The sentiments from the basis of a sense of gratitude are bang on. I'm drinking from my saucer. Why? Because my cup has overflowed. It refers to the difference between saying, "Good morning, God," and "Good God, morning." We can't see the difference, can we? The person with a sense of gratitude understands that she or he is not the center of the universe. When something good happens to her, it's a gift to be treasured and for which to be profoundly grateful. On the other hand, there are those who look at life like this. Everything and everyone ought to get out of my way. I'm entitled for all the traffic lights to be green when I drive to work. And anyone who is driving in front of me at a rate even a few kilometers more slowly, than the sign indicates we ought to be doing, is obviously intentionally trying to slow me down and make me late. I'm entitled to get my own way at work. At home, not a chance. In relationships, I'm entitled. That's how some people feel. Those bylaws don't apply to me. Obviously, that sign that says no dogs on the beach doesn't refer to me and my 2 dogs, neither who's on the leash. In the story that Bill read but moments ago of Jesus and the 10 lepers, a familiar story to most of us, perhaps all of us. 10 men with an illness. Jesus healed them. All 10. How many returned to say, by the way, thanks? 1. 10%. An individual somewhat cynically a few weeks ago, when we were talking about this particular story, said to me, I suspect that 1 in 10 reflects the percentage of people who truly live out of a sense of gratitude. The rest of us live somewhere in between. I don't know about you, but that's something of a sad statement to me, if it's true. A pastor tells of reading excerpts from the diary of a young husband. And this young husband's wife was very gravely ill. Doctors could not assure him that his wife would even survive the night. And in the diary, this young husband expresses his profound faith in God, come what may. He writes, and I invite us to listen carefully. She may die before morning, but I've been with her for 4 years. There's no way I could feel cheated if I didn't have her for another day. I never deserved her for a single moment. God knows that. What I must do now is accept the injustice of death, or rather, the justice of death and the injustice of life. What did I do to deserve birth? It was purely a gift. And I am me. And that's a miracle. I have no right to a single moment. Yet I had 32 years. But wait. The entry ends. I'm being given another day. Another day to live and read and smell and walk in glory. I'm alive for another day. And she's alive. It's a gift. Another gift. Thanks be to God. Here's what my life experience tells me. The happiest people I know on this planet are the people who live their life out of a sense of gratitude. Giving thanks isn't a duty. It's a key to the joy that any one of us and all of us can experience. Too often I see people, myself included, who think to ourselves, if something really terrific happens to me, boy, am I going to acknowledge it and celebrate and be grateful. The secret is to commit ourselves to an attitude of gratitude regardless of what happens. Then we'll be able to at least hint at finding an element of joy in that which otherwise may be perceived as the most humdrum experience in life. And sometimes we can find joy even in those most painful experiences of life. Jesus has fed the 5,000. He's withdrawn from the crowds. He's gone to the other side of the lake, only to be followed. After all, he could fill their stomachs, and they like that. But Jesus wanted them to seek spiritual bread, not merely the physical. Don't work for food that spoils, but for food that endures to eternal life, which the Son of Man will give you, he said to the crowds clamoring after him. They asked him, what miraculous sign then will you give us, that we may see it and believe you? You remember our forefathers ate manna in the desert, like Jesus needed to remind you. And Jesus said to them, I tell you the truth. It's not Moses who's giving you the bread from heaven, but it's my Father who gives you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of God is he who comes down from heaven and gives life to the world. Sir, they said, from now on, give us this bread. And Jesus declared, I am the bread of life. He who comes to me will never go hungry, and he who believes in me will never be thirsty. We who are not entitled to anything have been given the greatest gift of all, the gift of God's grace, God's love. And in and through God's Son, Jesus, we receive the bread of life, freely given. When we center our lives on that gift of love, we drop all of our feelings of entitlement. And we see life and everything in it as a gift from God. May it be so. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Amen. Great is thy faithfulness. Long time hymn of the church.
Great
Yes.
And my great-granddaughter had a very sweet. She was 6 yesterday. Today, 13.
Okay.
But she's got someone from her study, so we had it yesterday.
So you have a great-granddaughter who celebrates her 6th birthday today.
Yeah, but we had it yesterday. Now, there's 2. One is 4, one is 2. So, anyway, she said, I said to her, one of them said to her, you know, Grandma was 6 90 years ago.
That's right.
Well, she says, I'm in grade 1 now, so I know.
You can do the math. Awesome. Wonderful. Some of us know that when I got to be 68, I converted to Celsius. 20. Thank you, Doris, for sharing that with us. God calls us on a regular basis to work with God in creation. And out of our thanks and thankfulness for all that we've received as children of God, we offer who we are and what we have. We worship God as we make our offerings. We worship God as our offerings are received. Let's continue in our worship of God. Holy One, for the gift of this faith community, for the opportunities we have to learn and grow as your people, for the opportunities we have to come together and celebrate and worship as your people, for the opportunities we have to share who we are and what we have. We give thanks. Bless these gifts, our presence, our giving, and our living. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen. I invite Greg Sharp to come in and join me. Our time of prayers of thanksgiving this morning is going to be a little bit reflective and back and forth. And I invite us just to adopt an attitude of prayer that works for us. Some like to pray with eyes wide open, and some like to pray with eyes wide shut. Some like the United Church slouch. Some like to fold hands. Whatever works for you, just remember, please, that this is a time of prayer. Let's pray. When Jesus saw the 10 people, he said to them, "Go and show yourselves to the priests." And as they went, they were made clean. Then one of them, when he saw that he was healed, turned back, praising God with a loud voice. He prostrated himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him, and he was a Samaritan. Then Jesus asked, "Were not 10 made clean? But the other 9, where are they?" The gift of healing was a huge gift, utterly unexpected and without precedent. But after it happened, only one person returned to Jesus to thank him profusely.
We think of life-changing gifts we received, the correct treatment from a physician, massage therapist, or physiotherapist, a nurse who cared beyond the call of duty.
How did we show our thanks? How did those around us show their thanks? We are God's thankful people.
We think of other life-changing gifts, graceful gifts, gifts we cannot repay, good advice from a friend, comfort from a partner, life direction questions, or suggestions from a counselor.
How did we show thanks? Looking back, how could we have shown our thanks? We are God's thankful people.
We think of family members and friends who have received graceful healing, life-enhancing and life-changing gifts.
How did they show their thanks? Were we surprised that some friends didn't show thanks? Did we notice someone we least expected showing generous thanks? We are God's thankful people.
We think of those who have met us there when we hit the depths of darkness.
How did they support us? How did they encourage us? Was it their words or their presence that helped us most? We are God's thankful people. Amen. Thanks. Our concluding hymn. Let all things now live.
Thank you.
responsibilities. The commonality is that we've all come as children of God, sisters and brothers in Christ. As we prepare a new course to move from this place, we do so still as children of God, sisters and brothers in Christ, as we do. May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, the fellowship and abiding presence of God's Holy Spirit be with each one of us and all whom we love. Indeed, all God's people everywhere, now and always. Amen.